Hi everyone, welcome to Wrench with John. My name is John. Today I'm going to be introducing you to my 1979 Mustang Indy 500 pace car. This isn't your typical pace car that you see as a replica on the internet and in person and at car shows and stuff like that. This is a festival pace car, and what makes this special is because it is a very low production VIN number ending in 0040. This is a 1979, as I previously mentioned, which is the first year of the new Fox body Mustang that Ford was unveiling. To do so, they were chosen to be the pace car of the Indy 500 during the year of 1979. So, what's so special about this car, and why is it called a festival car? So, with the low VIN number comes with some different responsibilities of this vehicle. It was a press car throughout the month of May in 1979. That being said, it was assigned to a celebrity at the time, and that celebrity's name was Penny DeMoss. Penny DeMoss was a marathon runner on the cover of World Runners magazine, I believe it is. I'm not a runner, as you can tell. And I thought that was pretty awesome. The way I was able to track this down was because I have about 5 or 6 inches thick of documentation, handwritten notes, media from Ford, the Indianapolis 500, about this car and other pace cars and festival cars. There's about 10,400 or so replica pace cars that you see. This is a festival car, obviously, and it is about one of 50. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head how many of those still exist, that haven't been scrapped, gutted, forgotten about, or some still might not have even been found yet. There's about 10 or 15 of these left that you could find, have documentation of, have pictures of, things like that. There's a whole registry, I can link it in the description below. So, knowing that Penny DeMoss was assigned to this car, I thought it would be very awesome and just another bridge of history to try and track her down, to just tell her I have the car, get any stories from her. And with the help of my wife, well, actually my wife found her, and we were able to make contact with Penny, and I'll put a picture here. This picture I found of her on top of this vehicle during the 500 Festival Parade that takes place a couple days, I think maybe a day before the Indy 500 race. So this is my specific car with her sitting on top in the archives, I believe it's Indiana University, during the month of May in 1979. So to see my car that is sitting right here in front of me in my garage with this celebrity during my favorite race and what is called the greatest spectacle in racing, it's a pretty awesome feeling. So just basically one cosmetic difference really that you can tell it's a festival car immediately is this badge right here. It just says 500 Festival. I'll bring you in to see. But the rest of the car is the same as the replicas. Technically, I guess you could say, oh, it's not the same because some of them have different transmissions, some of them have different engines. This car is a 302 V8, 4-speed automatic, it's a 3-speed automatic, no air conditioning. So that's another denotion of a festival car. Super cheap, super easy to build, super easy to work on. So Ford just sent them out there, 50 of them, ready to rip to be a representative of the latest generation Mustang. So with that being said, I'll show you around the car, show you the interior. The front seat is out because I had to put in a new brake booster at one point, so it was just easier to take the front seat out to get more clearance and stuff like that. But the car is super, super clean. I found this in a barn in Northeast Ohio, and it has about 89,000 miles on it. I believe those are original miles. I haven't driven it on the road to verify that, but I have reason to believe because of the condition of the car, the interior, the foot pedal wear, things like that. I believe it is an original mile car with matching numbers, block, heads, carburetor intake, all that. So yeah, I'll bring you in here. So like I said, the car is a 302 V8 3-speed automatic transmission with no air conditioning. I think the air conditioning would be somewhere in this area on this vehicle if it were equipped. But the things that I've done so far, I've actually had the car for, let's see, 4 years. Yeah, January of 2021 I bought January of 2021 I bought the car. I didn't really do much work to it at all. It ran half decent at the time. And since then I put new spark plug wires, new spark plugs. This is just a battery I had laying around. What else have I done? Haven't changed the oil yet, probably should do that. I removed the dreadful smog system, as you can see here, and I replaced it with an idler pulley down there. I got that from LMR, and I actually used some 3D printed parts to cap off the smog area that goes to the rear of the cylinder heads. I removed the EGR system. Let's see, let me get a light in there for you. You might be able to see it better. Yeah. So I removed the EGR system, and instead of buying, instead of buying a block off plate from someone, I decided to just make one myself. So it is actually a 3D printed gasket as well as a 3D printed cap on top to hold that gasket in. So I'm a mechanical engineer by trade. I have 3D printing at my house. I have access to CAD at my house. So, you know, why not save some money and make some car parts? That's mainly it for the engine bay. Oh, I stand corrected. Vacuum lines as needed. Still have to run the distributor advanced vacuum line. You got to find a port on the carb that draws vacuum as you increase the throttle. There is a new master cylinder and brake booster. And here is the interior of the car. I do have the original front seat. Took it out to install that brake booster I just mentioned. But I mean, the car is super clean. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of wear from it being, let's see, 45 years old. But I mean, even look at the bolsters on the passenger seat. I'll show you the driver's seat here in a minute. It's just as, you know, it's in just as good condition. Need to put in a headliner. I have that. I just need to do it. Sunroof. I need to do seals on that. Waiting to do the headliner before I, you know, head that direction. But I mean, from a cold start, it starts out pretty decent for a 45-year-old engine that's probably been sitting most of its life. Again, there's that festival badge that I recreated and applied to denote it as a festival car, not just one of the replicas. I also made a new mirror, so the original one stays in pretty decent condition. I'll show you the original mirror with the original 23 on it eventually. So here's the driver's seat, just sitting on my bench over here. But I mean, look at the bolsters. There's just like hardly any wear. Of course, this sagged. One of the reasons why it's out of the car is obviously because of the brake system, but second reason is this seat bracket is all sorts of stuck. So I need to flip the seat over carefully and take care of that to try and free that up for some adjustment, because as a taller guy, I don't really fit in the car that well. I mean, I kind of do, but it's not comfortable. But another major thing I did, I just totally forgot to mention, is I put the LMR TRX replica wheels on with some Kenda tires that they're wrapped in. The original ones are at my dad's house currently, but let me get another light under here. Show you what I did to the rear. So the rear of the car, just changed the fluid. Oh, you can't really see much. I just changed the fluid. I think we're good there on leaks. I got shocks on the way. Rear shocks and front struts. Struts or shocks, I can't really remember, don't really care. Always mess it up. Did the entire brake drum system, you know, shoes, drums, hold down kit, cable and wheel cylinder, all that junk. I pulled the tank, and the tank was actually super clean inside. I think I have a picture of it. I'll put it on the screen if I do. And I mean, it was very clean for, you know, a 45-year-old car that probably sat for a while. And I put some gaskets on that. The original check valve for the breather was good. No reason to mess with that. You know, try to save money where you can. I just kind of messed with what I thought was what was necessary. I tried to get the fuel gauge working, so I replaced the pickup tube, but for some reason I was showing continuity on the fuel gauge wire in the back of the car, but upon doing so, I did some research and I think the voltage regulator behind the dash is bad. I think that's what it is. And that's causing the fuel gauge to just simply not work. The only rust hole that I found, here, let me grab the keys. The only rust hole that I found was in the spare tire well. And that was probably because a rat or, you know, a mouse just wet itself in there, and it stayed there till the end of time, till I got it and cleaned it out, things like that. So, I mean, I'll take that as opposed to a structural component. If I can find the key here. These hatches are so heavy. But no problem with the new shocks I also put on. There's my jumper to see if the fuel gauge would read high. You know, I just thought of something. I think I had the battery in the car when I tried that. Let's try that again. I can't remember if I had the battery in the car or not when I tried that before. I think I did, yeah, because that light was on. Yeah, I think I did. But hey, let's give it a shot again. Why not? We're here. See if we get a fuel gauge reading or no. Key needs to be on. Let's see. Let's see if we get a fuel gauge reading. Nope, doesn't read stuff. Nope, doesn't read anything. All right, well, shows you how good my brain is. But anyways, that's gonna be one project that I need to take care of, is trying to get the fuel gauge properly working. Just so it's just nice to know what fuel level you're at so you're not stranded on the road with an already old car. Another part that I 3D printed, I keep setting my light down. Get another one here. Another part that I designed myself and 3D printed was the wiring where the sending unit wire comes up to meet the original one from the car. I did this because the old one was worn out. I needed it sooner than I could get it from LMR, and I knew I was able to make it myself, if not better. And I would argue that it fits better than original, so I'm pretty pleased with that and how that fit. But I mean, back to these seats again. This is the driver's seat. The Recaro, the head mesh, the head netting, I mean, it is just perfect. Passenger seat's a little worse for wear in that area. However, it's still there. I mean, that's more to say than most of these cars. I've seen some pretty rough ones, I will say. But here's the hatch area, if I didn't show that already. Needs a new rear seal on the windshield or on the window. Found that out when I washed it. I mean, I obviously figured it needed it, but you know, it's just even more apparent with that piece hanging down. But overall, a super clean car, and I'm very excited to share my ongoing experience with it. My goal is to drive it this summer to get it to a couple of car shows locally. So I really hope to see you guys there and just try to, you know, spread the knowledge of this car. And next video might be dealing with the documentation and just kind of breaking that down, because there is a ton to go over. So I appreciate you watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ping the comments below and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much.